Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, councillors. Welcome to this evening's communities meeting at 7:30 on the 10th of September at the Barney Green Room, DTC. Just housekeeping to begin with. We're not expecting a fire drill, but if you have one, it's the way you came in or out this room, down to the left, and run as fast as you can. Push the green button, go. So, first item on the agenda is apologies. To receive any apologies for absence.
Debs Carson.
Just Debs. Thank you. Okay, item 2 on the agenda is declarations of interest arising from this agenda. Members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interest. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare any interest at any point during this meeting. Do we have declarations of interest? No. Okay. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the meeting held on the 9th of July. Has everyone had a chance to look at those meetings from the 9th of July, and are they happy with them? Any comments? No? Happy? Page. Thank you, Frances. Okay. Item 4 on the agenda is the public participation. The meeting will, if required, recess for no more than 15 minutes for questions and comments from members of the public on matters appertaining to this committee. Members of the public, do you have any questions or anything at all you'd like to raise?
No, you go for it. I've got two, so you can go for it. I'm only here to talk about the football club proposals coming later on, so...
Oh, yeah, it's on the agenda, so if you'd like to give us a bit of... yes, fine, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So hopefully you've seen the proposal that we've submitted beforehand. Effectively, we're asking for a storage container at KGB Park. As a football club, we've got about 30 teams supporting lots of people ranging from 6 through to veterans of significant age. Male and female, but lots of people just trying to encourage effectively people to actually have some recreation time away from devices, actually out and about and enjoy themselves. Where our club is becoming so popular, so many teams, so many people involved, it's requiring a hell of a lot of equipment. We have 3 small-sided pitches and 2 full-sided pitches at KGB. We also play games in other venues as well, but we have a lot of equipment that also needs storage. We have a lot of volunteers that run the football club, and a lot of volunteers like myself. I've got the whole unit at home where I've literally stacked up of anything I can physically contain in there, as have numerous other people. But then there's lots of bulky things like big goals that we have to use with stretch barriers that we need to put around all the pitches, corner flags, balls, medical equipment, nets, which everything is quite bulky. At KGB at the moment, we do have a small goal storage area. This is quite narrow, and to be really honest, it's a health and safety issue. If you're trying to put a heavy goal in there, hook it up on there, try not to fall over the nets that are in there as well, because there's not a lot of room there, and the flags and everything else. And we also have corner storage around the back, which contains all of our small-sided goals, again some more corner flags and bits. But really, for the kind of our size and equipment that we've got and need to try and do something with, that's just not adequate for what we need. So my ask is it possible that we can get enough storage on-site container, the same size as one that's there at the park at the moment, or Denby Daycare? Could either go alongside that, could go at the rear of the pavilion, or could come to the side of the multi-use games area, in an area that would be, okay. I'm trying to come up with solutions for something where we could put something that's going to be more inconspicuous and not cause any concerns for anyone else. So I'm asking, please can you help us with that?
Do councillors have any questions or?
We've just got one chair, and that is, and I haven't had a chance to catch up with everything on the email, but I'm assuming that the football club would be proposing to pay for the container.
Yes, we would do. Well, in joint, we get 75% of the cost through the Football Foundation.
You can.
So we can get that grant in there. We cannot apply for that grant unless we've got permission to put the container in situ.
And does it have the sizes? Is it a 20 foot?
It's a 20 foot by 10 foot.
20 foot by 10
Yeah,
foot.
it's exactly the same spec as the sort of
Right.
Denby Daycare ones.
And is that for a semi-permanent, or is it just until the end of the season?
It would be more permanent because football keeps on going forever and ever, and if anything really, there is
Because we have storage rooms at the facility, at the offices, right, underneath. So I don't know why we're not using the storage
Yeah, I
rooms.
was going to do that. Exactly my question.
Yeah, so there are storage rooms in the facility itself, and I don't know whether or not we're already using the storage.
They're quite full downstairs at the
Sorry?
moment, and they're already at capacity.
Full with what?
What?
Daycare stuff.
We have 4 changing rooms,
Yeah.
and then we have a storage facility that we use, which is a changing room that's been converted, and the other changing room that's been converted is used by the daycare.
Right,
We don't have any other storage.
okay.
Do we know what's in the daycare facility
And the stuff that they use
daily?
daily,
Okay, toilet, right?
Yeah, but stuff that they're not storing,
Oh,
that
right.
they're using.
they use it daily.
They use it daily.
Okay.
Can I ask, Ben, sorry, can I ask you, where would you see it being located? Where would be your wish list to be
Possibly
located?
we're not fussy,
And they
we're
have a storage
just
at the
grateful
back,
if we have the
at
opportunity
the side.
to go to storage
It's not
there.
big enough.
I think possibly it looks better, it's next door to the container they've already got for Denley Daycare.
Okay.
That is just a
I
storage
can't really
area.
envisage it, can you?
I'll try
envisage
to-
it?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No,
Pass that round. So a quick look.
Ah, perfect.
We would need a risk assessment on it
Big enough, isn't it?
because of public and also people going in and out
Behind
there,
the hedge,
homes going
yeah.
in and out of it and stuff like that, because it depends what's in there. So we have to
Bit
do a
nice.
risk assessment of anything that's probably publishers.
So it's the same assessment that we would need for the other container that's already there, right?
There was one going on there.
Yeah. There was one done on the other
Yeah.
one, so we would need a risk on the second one, potentially. And then if that risk assessment is quote, okay quote, then okay, gotcha. Okay, good point.
Because I did a risk assessment on the stuff they had daycare in there, and I condemned a lot of it because of the virus in them.
Yeah. Okay.
Any further questions for?
Daniel's just, Councillor Stallard has just suggested like tuck behind the,
Okay, we can discuss that when we
Yeah,
get. Yeah.
yeah.
So any more questions for?
no,
No.
no.
Happy? Yeah. That's fine for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On to Kevin.
Cool, thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
So for the record, Kevin Mark, Denley Scout Group Chair. 2 points, if I may, hopefully pretty quick. One which would follow, I would assume, under your next section for previous actions from minutes of the immunities from the 9th of July, which is regarding point 38/26A, point 2, which was regarding the bin location. I've had no correspondence on whether or not, it's been 2 months, no disrespect, no correspondence on whether or not the RFO confirmed insurance for works to be carried out as requested in my application for bin relocation work. Has there been any update?
Are you happy to answer that now? If not, we can respond to you outside in a.
That wasn't an action for me. That was an action, I think, for Councillor Carson. So I don't know whether she's spoken to the RFO or not.
I can always delay it with her once she's back from holiday, and if you're happy for me to, I'll correspond to you outside of council.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, as liaison officer, I'm happy for that to happen. I just want to make sure we're progressing. That's my main thing for that one. So second thing is that below this item came up in the last full council, Wednesday 3rd September, section 042/26C for the record. I think it may fall into the purview of amenities because it's with reference for councillors in the room, it's with reference to the overhanging trees to the scout hut. One point is clarification. Point says in the notes that it's overhanging, that's correct. The trees are also touching and actually on the scout hut, which could cause damage to the roof, could cause damage to the solar panels. My second point is, was there any action agreed? Because as per the full council meeting notes, there's just the liaison officer's report, there was no action by anybody. And again, I don't want that discussion to delay as we're going into winter, high winds, you can see where I'm going with that.
Could you please give me the minute reference again?
042/26C
Yeah, 26.
under the Scout liaison report. So again, just
Right.
trying to keep things moving.
That hasn't come to me. Could you, so I wasn't aware of it, if you email me tomorrow, if you've got pictures, that would be great.
I've got them. Debs has got them. so I
If
can
somebody
send
could send them to
Yeah.
me, because we're just doing the work schedule with tree work, so I can pass them on.
Yeah, perfect. Fine.
I can forward them on to you.
I just didn't want it to get missed in conversation and any potential work that you guys are doing
No,
around the
but
village.
If it comes to me, I'll get it dealt with.
Yeah, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
It may not be until November that the works get done, but they will be done.
Okay. Would there be, would council be open for discussion for an emergency amount of work to be done to one particular tree and to one particular branch that's actually scraping the side and the roof of the hut, which I don't want to rip up fell and therefore cause us a...
Right, if you can get it to me,
I'll get it to you
Tomorrow.
yeah.
I can ask, because what the usual process is that Sam, the head groundsman, will go and inspect, and when if he thinks there are works done that the boys can do, the grounds team can do, they will go and do them. If it has to be outsourced, then it will be outsourced. But I suspect that one they will be able to reach and remove.
I would probably, as a guess, obviously, Councillor Solar and Councillor Clay would part of our liaison meeting, but
Yeah.
if you guys...
I know you're also concerned about the solar panels on the roof, is that right?
Well, I just,
Getting quite close, so yeah, it'd be better.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think my
Yeah.
biggest concern right now is that one particular tree that is literally on the side of the building,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to cause damage to the roof because it is a fell roof. And the second thing is, if this can be November, great, but just be aware, councillors, that there are trees overhanging the building, and if they come down in high winds,
Yes,
just want to let you know that I will be coming back to have a lovely chat with our liaison officers.
yes, okay. No, sorry,
Okay.
I hadn't been advised of that from
No,
full
that's
council.
fine.
I wasn't aware.
I'll forward her what I thought then.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else there? Is that? I'm sorry, Tony.
We did raise this at full council and once before about the trees, because when we talked about the workings and talking we had with the scout group. And so nothing was done from when we raised it.
I don't know what has been said to Sam, but because I wasn't aware of this, I haven't spoken to Sam about it. So I think
that's fine.
Let's check
I
with
need to
Sam
talk to
anyway.
Sam
I'll forward
tomorrow
you the
and see what's
info.
going on.
Yeah, so maybe we'll walk them all around.
Yeah.
But if you can send me everything, then if Sam isn't aware, I can go through it with him.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Okay. Any other?
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead, yeah, go on.
Sorry, it's relevant to the football club again. And it's one that's on the minutes to be talked about the goal post fixings. So as a club, we raised some more money for the Football Foundation to acquire a new set of goal posts because the existing set that was on the near side pitches and going to the ground was deemed unsafe. So we disposed of a set of goal posts. We've acquired some new goal posts. They've been put into the storage. But my understanding, so I'm not directly involved in it, I picked it up indirectly. The groundsman, where once had previously been engaged and was confident in putting the fixings into the ground, is no longer confident in putting the fixings into the ground and required some cement or concrete or something to physically hold them in place. It's just a case of just pleading for your support in terms of we do have people within the football club that are from a ground force background who would capably be able to do such a thing. So we're not asking for any money in terms of doing it, we just want support in getting the goalpost up and running that we can actually use that pitch.
Everyone's happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, if there's no more, I'll close the public participation and move on to item 5. Item 5 is matters arising and outstanding matters from previous minutes. To note, matters arising and outstanding from previous minutes and items requiring discussions are included in the agenda, and that's just a note. Item 6 on the agenda is the head groundsman report. That is also to note the status report from the head groundsman. Now on to item 7, the budget 2026-2027, the draft budget. To consider the draft budget for the municipal year 1st of April 2026 to the 31st of March 2027, prepared by the RFO to consider and determine actions. Have you all had a chance to look at the draft budget? Are you all happy? Are you all happy? Do you have comments? Or any...
Pass that down now. Right, I should have enough for everybody. you've got a copy, right? Okay.
Yeah, these ones you gave me last time.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at the budgets, the pots and the funds, any questions or comments from the councillors? Councillor Ranger, Chris?
Yeah, a couple of observations, if I may, Chair. First of all, I'm disappointed, let me put it that way, with regards to the actual spend for this year versus the budget for this year. What we've actually spent today. In fact, it's embarrassing, to be perfectly honest, number one. And it doesn't, and there may be some very valid reasons as to why there's certain things that have been either delayed or not spent as per the original budget. And without going through line by line, I'm just an observation that looking at it almost outside in, if you will, I'm just concerned that we're not on top of everything from a budget perspective on what we plan to spend for this year. Number one. Number two, there are some particular lines excuse me, that have got no spend at all, and we're already in month 9, or beg your pardon, from April to September. So whether there's anything forecasted or a forecasted expense versus actual, it's not clear. So, for example, there's I'll just pick an item just as an example. There's vehicle insurance, road tax, MOT. Budget of 4.5 and we spent 397. If the plan for the rest of the year is to soak that up, so to speak, then that's okay, but it's not clear to me. And therefore, that's a lesser of an issue. But if you look at the Pavilion and Old School electrical EPC drawdown of a budget of 500 and we've got 0 spent and we're not planning on doing it, for example, then that's a bigger issue, even though it's a lesser amount. So I am concerned that we have been very, what's the word, not conservative, a little bit not focused on spending it the way that we should be spending it. So I'm not comfortable, from my perspective, with regards to what is being proposed as the draft, looking at the numbers, draft proposed versus the actual budget. So looking at the spend, now I do appreciate and recognise that there's a significant drop from proposed for this current or the next year to the current year. Looking like this, it looks like it's about 47,000 roughly, as far as I can work out. Unless I'm looking at both of them.
Oh, yes, here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if the budget is going to soak that up between now and March of next year, if that's the case, forecasted by the amenities team, committee, clerk, etc., then that's good, because we've got everything that we're forecasting we're going to spend. However, if it's not, then I do think there's more room to save. And that's where we are, in my opinion. Sorry.
If I could make 2 comments. Firstly, these figures are only to the end of June. They don't take end of June. They are only for 3 months. Things like the car insurance is October, so the money will go out then. And for items like the tree spends, we are not legally allowed to do any works until the end of the nesting season, which is the end of September. So the figures for the trees always seems heavy at the budget, but it is usually spent by the end of the year.
Did we spend it all last year?
We spent a lot of it. I couldn't tell you how
Oh,
much.
thank you.
But that's, which is why I said to Kevin that, you know, the tree works, they're starting in October, so, and if yours are deemed more urgent, you'll be put into October. but that's when they'll be starting the works.
Tim.
Yeah, I'm looking at vandalism, no. Yeah, we're still getting vandalism, and where's that money being used, and where's it going? You know, because you look on the first sheet, budget 25-26, vandalism down EMR, no. Yeah, we haven't got loads of vandalism. No.
So does this cover bus stations and notice boards, etc., or is it different type of vandalism?
We have 1,200 held in funds for vandalism, but I couldn't tell you what that covers. That would be a question for the RFO.
Okay. Do you want me to ask that question for you?
Yeah, because
we can go back to the
you know,
RFO and just
if we
clarify.
budgeted for it and we haven't spent it yet, there's vandalism going on, where's the money being taken from to pay for it?
Well, it says Sage Code 3011 here.
Christine?
I'm greatly worried about the repairs to Creech Wood, the footpath. I think that's a not inconsiderable amount of money, and it seems to be battered. So we either do it or we don't do it. That's a significant spend.
Sorry, councillor.
So I'd like to know where we are.
Chris?
So was that repairs to Creech
Yeah.
footpath?
Yeah, I'd like to know where we are with it.
Oh, this one.
We had quotes for repairing that path. We had a quote from Bentley, which is the figure that you see there,
Yeah.
and we are chasing them to do the works, and they haven't yet done the works. I have now contacted 3 other companies to come and give quotes for doing the works, because I don't think Bentley are going to come and do them.
So can I ask then, I know it's a sort of guesstimate really, so you don't have to answer the question, Francis, but do you think that money that is allocated is now going to be sufficient? Given that fact, I don't know how long this has gone on for.
I have no idea whether that would be sufficient.
So I don't really understand then, Councillor Angel or Councillor, any of you, if we have this amount of money and it's not enough, do we have a contingency pot to do the work, or do we then say, because it's laid dormant and we haven't got enough to do it, we shelve it? We could get ourselves in quite a predicament,
I
couldn't
believe
we?
you can take from other parts, according
Yes.
to Jenny. Yes,
We
we
do have a separate footpath.
can take from
Money's
one to the other
held
to
We
support
can,
it.
yeah. I just
We
think
justify
it's gone on for a little bit too long, and it's not it's not a couple of hundred quid, is it? It's a lot of money.
Yes.
So we either need to, given what Councillor Ranger has said, and I do echo your point completely, Councillor Ranger. I do think there are some disappointing issues in there.
I think the way forward, if I might suggest one without overstepping the mark, would be to get the new quotes in, see what they are, and then for you to perhaps to go and have a look at the footpath and consider whether or not you
I was going to
actually
suggest that.
need
as well.
doing it.
I
So
think we
I'd be
need a
happy
walk
to
in the
do that.
woods, yeah, very definitely, because that's a lot of money.
Because I know when I spoke to Councillor Carson, she was of the view people should put their wellies on and just get on with it.
Councillor Carson does have a particular way, but you know, there are people that have limited mobility and stuff like that, and we need to.
Yes.
I think that Creekswood is accessible for all that can be accessible. So if that's a path, then we need to consider that, but we need to consider it very thoroughly, given the expenditure. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
If we can action that, we can bring that back.
Yes, as I say, I've got 3 names that Sam is now following up to get quotes from. So.
Christian.
Facilities maintenance, on the first page, halfway down, budget of 2 and proposed is 4. What facilities? Do you know?
That is, I would assume that's everything we own, but I don't know.
So it suggests that we're doubling the original budget.
And so far we've only used just under
So far
1,000.
we've only used 990. and if it's facilities maintenance, now, appreciate it's only up until June, I think you said, so April, May, June, we've only had a quarter. But if, again, to my earlier point, if the forecast spend for maintenance for everything we own, that's what facilities maintenance is, if the forecast spend for the next 3 quarters of the year is 3 times the 990 to get to the original budget, if it is, then okay, so why is it doubled unless we've got indication that the cost of maintenance
It's going
is
to go up.
doubled? And that's another area of concern to me,
Okay.
just to highlight it. I don't disagree that things have gone up, but are they doubled? Is that maintenance for?
Well, if you take the 990 as being in 1 quarter, theoretically 4 times 990 is 4,000, which is what is being proposed for the budget next
Well, I
year.
don't know whether the facilities of 990 is a quarter's worth or is it an annual premium for something?
That's what we've actually spent. So
Right.
Since the 6th.
Yeah.
30th to 6th, yeah.
so
Christine?
Sorry, I've sort of got a bit between my teeth now, so sorry. Can I ask why we are purchasing a storage container for the Vile of Bowman?
Where are you looking there?
because that was a resolution that was passed,
Right.
and the one that they have, which we own, needs replacing.
One was
It is-
past its time, wasn't it?
It's rotten.
But
Needs
isn't
replacing.
it their society and their ability to provide their own storage?
We provide that one, and they rent it from us.
And do we have to? Can it not be that we just get rid of the old one and they buy a new one?
The problem with that is then and it'll be the same problem with the football club, is that then you have to have an agreement about them having a container on our land, and how you deal with that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and the insurance questions and issues, and all of that surrounding
Okay.
somebody else having something on our land.
Okay. That's fine. Thank you for the answer.
The pavilion improvements and maintenance. We keep getting stuff in that we need repairing and that, and yet we've underspent on it. So the work, should have been done by now because we've got the money there for it.
The final plumbing works to the plumbing works to the building are being carried out at the end of October, because that suited the preschool, the nursery, because the pavilion will have to shut for 4 days while they
That's
turn
right, I
the
remember
water
we
off.
discussed it last, yeah.
So, again, there will be a significant chunk of that
We're missing for that, yeah, it will be
that
spent
will be
on.
spent in October.
Really, stuff like that should be
Itemised.
itemised in there.
That's a good idea.
And, where we got our work outstanding and the money said, there should be an index saying this is money's going to be used at this time of year. Because there's nothing in there to tell us tree work,
Yeah.
pavilion work.
So that will help better us to forecast what's upcoming,
Yeah.
outstanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the same with potholes, Now, what do you call potholes? Potholes in the playing fields, potholes in the parks?
These are Goodman Field Car Park, which, if anyone has driven in there, you'll know there are potholes
There are,
Yeah.
that need filling.
They are.
So
They
that-
just resurface it all and try instead of filling out in the potholes, because once you fill out the pothole, it deteriorates and you've got to do it. So
I would disagree because I think they do it really regularly and it does seem to gain. As Francis probably.
could we ask Francis to have a look at?
We did have the whole surface of that done. Well, since I've been here, probably about 3 years ago, that the whole surface was redone. So this is the sort of start of the potholes coming back. But when we looked at resurfacing it, council decided they wanted to have the chippings rather than tarmac.
I think, well, maybe that's something we can revisit in the future because I think the chippings are not working.
No.
Yes.
As a regular person that drives in there every morning,
Yeah.
they're just not working.
The village notice boards, we talked about this at the last meeting,
Oh, yeah.
I think, on the basis that either some are rotten and need replacing and or updating or soundproofing or whatever, 2,000 seems quite cheap, bearing in mind some of those notice boards we were told last meeting were about 1,500 each. So I urge caution on whether it's 2,000 per board or whether it's 2,000, because we've got a lot of notice boards. Some are in very good condition and some are very, very poor. But 2,000 seems a little cheap to me, sorry.
The resolution that was passed by council that was that I would start a rota of replacing 2 notice boards a year, hence the 2,000 each year. And so what I have been doing is replacing 2, where one is more expensive than the other, to get me within the 2,000 limit.
That's
Okay,
very
that's, now you clarify that.
That's very prudent,
Francis, thank you, that
So-
makes it clear.
So if you've walked round, you'll notice that the ones at the pavilion or KGV have all been done, mainly because they were being vandalised, so those have now all been replaced. And I will start doing the rest around the village.
I suppose that all depends on, you'd have to bring it back to council to change that resolution, but how quickly would you want the notice boards replaced to make it look good for our community? We went round, didn't we? We've seen, I think we counted about 5 or 6 that have really passed and they're probably on your list. How quickly do you want to face them for the village? So that might need readdressing, perhaps. Unless we're happy to do it.
Well,
by the time we get round, we're just starting.
yes.
so
Like
how,
celebration, all that.
you know,
Yes.
okay,
But I mean,
Where we got vandalism of notice boards, now Newlands Parish Council are putting metal ones with anti-vandalism glass and everything in it. Why can't we, where we know they're going to be vandalised, put in metal ones so they don't get
I
vandalised?
think we have got our specific parish council ones around the village, but the ones that are open to the public, enable them to freely peg up their own posters and notice. When we put plastic, they'd have to come to the offices every time they want something put up.
yes.
So I think that's why we.
And to be honest, we haven't had a notice board vandalised in the last 4 months. We had a spate of it, one of them being vandalised, the one by the tennis club. But we know who was doing that.
Yes, there's that little BB.
Yes,
Okay.
that was that one. So yes, we actually haven't had any vandalised for a while. But if you could come
Sorry.
into the office sometime and we'll go through my schedule and photographs of notice boards and you can tell me which ones need
that's
doing.
I would just like to make a plea about the benches. I really don't. I had a little walk the other day around the village and I think we have got lots of benches and I don't think we need very many more. I think that's quite a big spend on benches. And I think
Is
that...
that for repairs and replacements, perhaps?
Well, there's nothing going into the budget next year for benches.
Good.
This year we've spent £1,000. We'll be spending another £500 on one to go on a bit of land by the Harvest Home, which would leave us about about £700 should we have to replace any of the others. But there's nothing going in the budget for next year.
Okay, because I think that having walked around the village with a view of looking at benches, I was counting lots and I didn't see many people sitting on those benches. So I do think it's a spend that we don't necessarily need to have. And also, if we, they get a bit shabby, can't we just recycle them? Can't we, repaint them and, stuff like that? I just think we don't need to be spending any more money on benches.
Chris?
The original action on the agenda was to consider and determine action. So, excuse me for asking, Chair, but is the consideration and determine action as to whether this committee approved the budget as it is on draft, or is it to consider and determine a set of actions to go back to, dare I say, sharpen the pencil?
The usual process would be for you to query and potentially reduce the figures in the budget for next year.
Okay.
That will go back to Jenny. Jenny will then change them in her budget and that will then go to the budget meeting.
So is the purpose of this discussion now on the agenda for us to agree as to which lines need to be reduced, or are we
Yes.
supposed to do that individually back to yourself and Jenny? Forgive me, 'cause I haven't been through this process before.
No, that's for you to decide now.
Okay, fine. Okay. Right. Chair.
So it may be just as well to start at the beginning and go through each line.
Okay, right. Machinery and maintenance. So the draft proposed budget is the same as our budget this year at 8,000. So far we've spent 1,667.
Yes.
Is council happy to keep the proposed budget for the
Yes.
machinery maintenance?
We vote every line, but I mean, I'm okay.
Just say yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Just for-
Yeah, keep it the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's tick that. Fine. The pavilion in the old school, the EPC, the budget was 500, and the proposed is to remain the same at 500 this year. So far is
we've
zero.
got the EPC quote,
That's what I'm thinking.
and that quote was for £940. So that 500 needs to go to 1,000
to cover the
to cover the
expenditure.
new EPC quote for this building,
Mhm.
and for the, I don't know what the pavilion quote is, but for this school, this old school building only, it was £940.
So that will use up, you're saying.
Sorry?
So if we put that 1,000 in and we go for that, it will then.
Well, 1,000 may not be enough.
We've got a
This is for 938 for
Two,
this
isn't
building.
it?
Yeah.
So I don't know what the pavilion is, Chair, but the pavilion plus this probably is 1,500.
Do we need one for the pavilion?
I think we do because of the daycare and the health.
Right, okay. So yeah, we need to increase
So
that.
I think that number needs to go up.
What happens if we do 2,000 so that it covers it, because pavilions is awkward and larger
I
place?
think that would be a good idea.
I think that's a fair call.
Perhaps do
Yeah.
5.
2.
2, you happy with 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Let's change that to 2. Next is the vehicle insurance, road tax and MOT. The budget is 4.5 and the draft proposed is 4.5.
Do
But
we-
Francis has already just explained that it's later is coming up, so I'm happy to keep that. Okay, pavilion CCTV security maintenance is 3,000 and proposed is also 3,000.
So that stays the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Happy with that, fine. Facilities maintenance, now we were going to ask a question about this to the RFO.
Yes.
So I think that's a question because
Yeah.
I don't understand why there's a double 2K.
So are we going to
Absolutely.
circulate
A lot.
that? Are we going to circulate the answer to that before we, or
Um,
is that something we really need to hammer now?
No, what I would suggest,
Mhm.
without overstepping the
No.
mark,
No.
Would
right,
be that-
please.
that is raised with Jenny, and then when we query it, and then when it goes to the budget meeting, which
FM, yeah,
you two will be at, you can then
revise
raise
it
it.
then.
You can then look at it then.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'll speak to Jenny and circulate what she says.
Vandalism, travel.
Vandalism the same. I've got a
Mm.
earmark for that as well. Can you ask
Travel as
Jenny
well.
about that as well?
Yep.
Thank you. That's 2 for her. And then travel expenses, the ground staff, budget was 0, we've not spent nothing, and the proposed is 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Training ground staff, budget 1,000. Next year's proposed budget is 0,
I'm assuming.
but we have earmarked funds already in there, so there is money to cover. So there's no need to budget for
Yeah,
this
it's
year.
earmarked
So
4,000, right?
we've got plenty
Yes.
in there.
Yeah, so I think that's
And we
plenty. Yeah.
Fine.
Leave.
Tree works, as Francis has just explained, we're coming to the end of the fall, so tree works can start commencing soon. So I'm happy. Is that right?
Yes.
Yep.
Agreed.
Brilliant. Okay, page 2, the tree survey. We've got 18,000 and the proposed is 0, but see above, that comes under the 38,000 as previously. That's the same.
You've got to start doing some surveys then.
Hold on a
It's,
minute.
it's on the
It's on
agenda.
the agenda.
Yeah, wonderful, sorry.
So hedges, trees and bulb planting. We had a budget of 5,000. The proposed is 0, but we've got two left already earmarked. So we have some.
Leave it in there.
So we might as well leave it in there.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah, no, it's just a,
yes.
obviously that's hedge tree and bulb planting. Is the money, probably not a question for you, Francis, is the money that we get from the sponsorship for all the planters and that, is that what pays for the flowers for the planters and the village green flower den?
I can't answer that because that's the highways.
Oh,
The planters are on, for whatever reason, the
Oh, they're on-
planters
So
are on
that budget would be
highways.
for Liz.
and the highways. I wonder, 'cause I looked down before, I wonder whether... No, it's fine.
It's really weird. Isn't
Yeah.
it? You've got bold,
I would have said that would have been amenities,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Okay. So other than that, with the 2,000 in there, I think considering we haven't spent nothing and we went from 5 to 2, I'm happy to keep that. Everyone else's consumables, we budgeted 4 and proposed 4. So far, we're just approaching the 2,000 mark.
Yeah.
So we're halfway through that. Happy to keep. Tool hire is next, 2,000, and proposed 2,000 we haven't used so far.
Yeah.
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 Thank you. Fuel, ground staff vehicles, mowers and fuel powered machinery. Budgeted 4,000, proposed 4,000 again for next year.
Yeah.
I think. Maintenance of play park equipment and skate park equipment. So budgeted 5,000, proposed for next year also 5,000. So far we are 2,500 in, so we're halfway through. I think.
It seems generally cheap, bearing in mind all the discussions and things we've had about skate parks and repairs and maintenance of. So if 5,000 is the true number, then I'm okay that it's the same. But it just, to me, I was expecting it to be a little dearer, a little bit higher value than that. That's all.
Would this, for example, cover what's later coming up on the agenda? If it's not under property, then you have to replace park equipment.
Yes, it would have to cover those.
Tony?
We got some of the play parks where the swings and that are missing and that. So-
yeah.
Have they been looked at and budgeted for repair and put in?
No, the swings have been removed because November 24 play inspection stated that if children swung on them facing inwards, there was a risk that they would leap off and hit each other, and that we should put something in the middle of the 5 swings to stop them hitting each other.
Like a net or something.
Well, like a post, which they might then hit and injure themselves. And
And
so,
on the post, weren't they?
and because it was a medium risk and a high score of 8 out of 10, the swings were removed.
Oh.
So that is why that 5 unit does not have swings on it.
We need to look at that. That can't just sit there and do
No,
nothing.
it's,
So we need to look at that.
Frame and that's
Yeah,
it.
it's going to. Yeah, it's not.
So it's either got to come out or be reinstalled properly.
Well, the installers would say there's nothing wrong with it. They sell it as a piece of equipment, and up until 18 months ago, our risk assessment said there was nothing wrong with it. But our playground report risk assessments now say
We had
that it has to be
any
removed.
incidents of injury
Not that I'm aware of.
that have been reported into the council.
Could we ask them to review it and also the people who installed it to have a look at it and then come back to this committee?
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll bring that back perhaps at future meetings as an item agenda to assess play park equipment and what we do with our play parks. So in terms of the budget, we used half of it so far. Is 5,000 enough for next year?
Doesn't sound it.
I don't think it will be.
Doesn't sound it, based on what we've just been talking about. I mean, it's probably going to cost you a few thousand to put a new set of swings in.
Yeah, or take it away.
Or take it all out.
Can we put it up to 6?
I don't think that's enough.
I said,
I think it's 10.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because if we're going to look, if it's going to come back to the agenda and we start talking about play equipment, I think we'll suddenly find out it's quite expensive.
Because the play equipment generally ages and gets worn out and breaks and needs upkeep and whatever else. I don't know, on a once a 3-year basis, but I think so. I think it's something that we need to pay particular attention to. We shouldn't skim down on it.
I think there's wiggle room in the budget with other
I
things.
think that should go to 10.
So it's committee of the mind that it should go to 10.
Yeah.
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 Just happy with that?
Yep.
Okay, so 10 for that one.
I struggle with the next one.
Which is
Sand.
play parks and play sand. Replace top up on annual basis. So these-
£2,000 for sand, I think.
So these are our sand pits for the
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's
So-
special sand actually.
Yeah, but special sand is special sand. I think
It is
£2,000.
expensive because we buy it for the nursery.
So Francis, how often do we
I struggle with it, I'm not going to lie.
So
It's
Fran-
a lot of
how-
money.
how-
We buy
how-
it. We buy it by the ton because basically the whole of KGV
Mm.
is, apart from one which I think is just on the grass, but the most of the play equipment on KGV is
Sand.
built in sand,
Yeah, yeah.
and we have to have a certain depth of it.
Right. It's a lot of money. But if
We
that,
haven't done anything yet this year on it.
no, that's what I'm saying. £2,000. We're storing it up.
Yeah.
Or until the end of June, sorry.
When does it normally get replaced? The sand.
I would imagine it'll be done in next spring, so literally just before
The budget.
the
And that
next.
would be
the
£2,000
next-
worth of sand.
It'll be whatever it
And,
costs at the time.
Sand is not cheap, generally. I mean, you can't build it,
And
not
it'll-
building sand, but play
And if you're talking about those bags,
Bags, yeah.
we probably,
I'm
I
happy to
think
keep-
we have about 10
I'm
of them.
happy to keep it this year and see how we go into next year. Let's see how we.
Probably okay. I mean,
Yeah.
a bag like that, it's going to be at least 100, 150 quid back.
Okay.
So it's
So
not-
which
I'll
are
go
on the agenda
on
to go
your
and have a look at?
expertise on sand.
Well, I'm not a sand expert.
Yes, you want, yes, yeah.
You
Yeah.
just
Um,
make it
We could
sound
ask
Put that on the resume, then. Okay.
One councillor and Sam to have a look.
Yeah. So can we put that on the agenda to come back for the future for one councillor, perhaps if not two, to go out with Sam and have a grand Sam?
Okay.
Thank you. So for
Maybe
now,
shop around for sand is all I'm
so
saying.
for now,
Perhaps we could have Lidl's version of sand
Mhm.
rather than Sainsbury's.
Maintenance.
so you're happy for 2,000 for now? That's fine. Okay, maintenance of the sports pitches, including the mugger, budgeted 1,000, proposed 1,000. So far we spent nothing. It's new, so I shouldn't think it would need any maintenance as of yet. So I'm happy to keep that.
Well, we got 6, 7
Yeah.
to spend on it, right? So in
I'm happy
theory,
with
we've
that.
got 7.5 to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
You say that we don't, there's no maintenance there. What about where does the cost come from when our boys go in there to clean the glass up and the rubbish? Where's that money come from?
That's salary, so that would be into the salary pot. But this would cover things like the white lining and the mowing
It doesn't cover what I would
and what
call
we,
it maintenance, where they've got to clean up after.
and the verti draining.
Okay. Right.
Okay, we'll keep that one.
Finishes.
Yeah, health and safety and fire extinguishers
Yeah.
maintenance. I think that's just standard.
Standard, looks like it's a
PPE for ground staff, including warden and caretaker. 3,000, and we still got to look at it in the pots. Spent nothing
The only
so
comment
far.
on that
I think we
is-
have spent. I think somebody's had some new boots. I may not be right, but I'm sure somebody had some boots. But I'm saying it's zeros, but I'm sure there has been some
In
boots.
regards to, I mean, if we were to use all that, and the ground staff needed PPR, all because we haven't got the money, doesn't mean that they wouldn't get it. We would
Yes.
find.
Can I ask what it is? So what do we buy? What is
protective clothing. So when you
Yeah.
get your chainsaw trousers, your chainsaw boots, your chainsaw jacket, gloves, goggles, hat, times the number of
Yeah.
ground staff.
That's right.
It's not typical.
And their
My-
high vis jackets.
My only comment though would be, sorry Chair, my only comment would be that most of this year we've had one less groundsman. And therefore, if the amount is still the same, 3,000 to 3,000, and we've also got 580 still left to spend, I may have expected a slight drop on this year's budget based on less headcount to clothe.
We have one member off long-term sick, but we'd have
I
then.
wasn't talking of that one, I was talking of Mr Forrest that left in January, that hasn't been replaced.
We've had Dave King has since been employed.
Okay.
as ground staff.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Chair, sorry.
When, when we talk about PPE, they should have special PPE when spraying, and I notice they don't.
I'll check that with Sam
Good point.
because
Round up.
Further comments on PPE, or are we happy to keep it for
Yeah.
3,000?
Keep it.
Keep it.
Keep it.
Cleaning contract and equipment at the pavilion usually works Monday and Wednesdays, 2 hours per day. So, perfect. Okay, so that's 3,700, and we've increased it by 300 for a proposed budget of 4,000 next. People happy with that?
Yeah.
4,000 proposed.
Mm-hmm.
KGF Power Oil. 0 and 0. Is this for the pavilion? The oil outside.
I'd assume so.
We haven't spent
So-
the budget, and we've got 14,000 in the pot.
Mm.
We're not heating anybody.
So this is for the pavilion. It's because it runs on oil to heat the pavilion. Is that right?
But we haven't
Yes.
budgeted
Yeah.
for last year or this year.
No.
We've got 14,000 still to spend.
Hmm. Now I don't know how much it would cost a year for that building. Any idea?
So
Francis?
forgive
Or
me,
do you
Chair,
typically look at them?
doesn't the school downstairs need to be heated?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So who's paying for that?
They pay half. They pay. Well, I say I don't know how much they pay, but they pay towards these.
Half of what though? Because according to this, we haven't bought or spent anything.
Right.
Well, this is where I think this is behind because this is only till the 30th of June.
So it might not come out yet.
Mm.
So can we just put a question mark, and then when we get
Yeah.
it next week,
Because that might be an issue if we've got nothing budgeted to plan for that, even though we've got 14 in the pot, right?
oil heating pavilion. Okay.
Okay.
KGF again, water. So we
Water.
duplicate the same for the water as well. So we find out how much. Perhaps we can look at compare what last year was and the year before, and that will give us a
That's what I would
forecast.
like to say, yeah.
So can we do that? Get last year's and
Mhm.
the years before figures, and we can look ahead using them.
I would imagine.
KGF waste as well.
Yes, in fact, we better do all KGF, haven't we? All three of them. Let's get a
Yeah.
backlog of what it is so that we can forecast properly and see that we're covering.
I mean, I would imagine that Jenny has based her budget figures on
Let's-
what we have done previously. So
Well, we hope
if-
so and assume so.
so
but let's check.
if she
Yeah, let's just
thought
tick
we
that
needed
box.
money in them, I would assume
Yeah.
that she would put
Okay.
something in there.
And then we can bring that back. Tools for the ground staff, restocked and replacement of tools.
That sounds about what I was going down, which is all right.
Yeah, we've used half of the 3,000 in a couple of months, whatever, a few months. So next year we budgeted for 1.5.
Okay.
Happy?
Yeah.
Body worn cameras, high vises and associated coats, 0, 0 and 0.
Costs. Coats, not costs. Costs.
Did I really?
You said coats.
Costs. But we've got earmarked funds for over 5,000. So since we haven't used and we haven't budgeted, we'll leave that as it is.
Yeah.
Roundabout planting, budgeted 1,000 this year. We haven't proposed anything, but we've not used anything. Wrong time of year, obviously, to be
What's the
planting.
difference between roundabout planting and hedge tree and bulb planting? As a matter of interest.
So the roundabouts belong to us, especially like the one at the Harvest roundabout, for example.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But this is actually highways.
Again, yeah.
So,
That's
any
an
partic-
So let's
HGP.
knock that
Any
to half.
particular reason why we've got two separate lines for that?
Because this one should be an HMGP.
Liz's highways and general, yeah.
Okay, fine.
So let's take that one off and let's remove that away. We're really going through this, aren't we? Wow.
And
So
it's
let's
a
remove.
Restock of tools. You just,
How many tools?
didn't we just do that with tools and
Yeah.
ground soil?
Yes, so we've spent 2,000 so far this year.
Yeah, we did just go through that one. So
Why
can,
have
can
we
we
got
not
two
can,
lines?
can we condense those down to one? Is that possible?
There's two lines for tools. One's restock and replace.
One's restocked and replaced.
Yeah.
I think it's a duplicate.
Oh, well, they've got separate Sage codes, so there must be a difference.
Well, yeah.
Could one of them be hand tools and the other be like trimmers, hedge cutters,
Electronics,
and stuff like
electricals, yeah.
But I think we need some clarity.
Yeah.
before we-
So can we get clarity on that, please?
Tools line and clarity, yeah.
That's on the agenda, yeah.
Right.
So Jenny.
Got the other one,
And
that's
then all
positive.
this.
Yeah.
If I had known, I would have rearranged the agenda items. But, right, okay. So we're on to, right, so on to the next, on to the second. Future replacement of tractors, truck vans and vehicles. Budgeted 2,000, proposed for next year is 2,000. We've gone over budget for this year so far at 5,700, which leaves us with earmarked funds of 5,700 as well. So this is for replacement of, like you said, tractors or are we happy to keep 2,000 considering that we've already got 5,700?
I'm assuming, Chair, that Sam has had some input into this.
I just think so, yes.
I don't
Yes.
know, but if Sam has and he's
Yes.
okay, then I'm okay. But
If he hasn't, it's okay just to run it past him and say that Sam.
Yeah.
If we
Yeah, and we can
talk,
bring that back to FM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
didn't we talk about, Sam was saying about replacing one of the tractors?
yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
asking.
Okay,
So
so yeah, let's touch
I
base with
think
him on
we
that.
should keep it.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
cost him more than £2,000. to
Yeah,
change
so
the
we'll touch
tractor.
base with Sam, just make sure that he's happy with that
Yeah,
budget.
If he's okay, then I think I'm okay.
Okay, fine. Replacement of skate park equipment. So the budget is 20,000, and already this year we've nearly used all of it. So the draft proposed budget next year is for. Why is that?
How
Is
can
it-
we?
Yeah.
Because it's all been put up to back into good order.
But it's not.
And considering that our skate park is in need of attention,
Absolutely.
but if you are going to propose a budget next year, considering what we've used this year, it's going to be a lot. Francis, what would you advise?
I personally
That's
think
a
it needs
lot.
to
I
come to
wasn't
full
aware
council.
that there was any issues with the skate park.
Yeah, so we,
I think it's a full council meeting.
yeah, it's going back. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there are there's some issues.
yeah, there are. We, Councillor Stoward and myself have to do a report on looking at the means for a new skate park or alternatives to the one that we've got because it's reached the end of its life.
Contract.
Yeah, and do we keep replacing the old one rather than just get a new one, for example, which will cater for multi-use for our youth members to use?
At present, all the works that were highlighted in the last play inspection report have been carried out. So I would expect that the play inspection report that's being done next week will not highlight any safety issues with the skate park. But let's wait and see.
That's next week, isn't it?
Yes,
So
that's
that will
being
give
done.
us a little small window before we go back to everybody.
Agreed.
So can we just, so let's just earmark that or just bullet point that for the time being.
While we are discussing the skate park,
Sure.
could I just... It's being called a skate park, and actually when it was put in, it is actually a BMX park.
Yeah.
Which I know some people have said that where the curves come down, there's then a drop. That's because they don't have to be smooth if you're using a BMX bicycle.
No, because you put this down.
So that is why it won't fail on the inspection reports for that fault, or what we perceive to be fault, because it is actually a BMX track rather than a skateboard track. And I personally would like to start calling it a BMX
BMX.
track, which is what it actually is.
We would bounce your expertise, Francis. Because I didn't know that either.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so we just wait to see that one. That's
Yeah.
fine. So move on to the next one. So replacement of play equipment. The earmark of the year of the end. Sage Code 3013. Go back to the previous sheet. You talked about that a few moments ago. Maintenance of play equipment and skate park equipment.
We spent 5 and we've got 31 still to spend against the budget of 0, so I would
Yeah.
suggest we leave it as it is then.
I think
Yeah.
so.
so
Yeah.
more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fencing generally around the parish.
Sure, we've got 5,000 in there.
Yeah, I think we might have enough to cover anything that needs to be replaced. We haven't used anything this year. We've not
Yeah.
budgeted for it.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yes.
Pavilion improvements and maintenance. Budgeted 10,000. Proposed for next year is 8. We have 6 already earmarked. So far we spent 1.5.
Mhm.
Happy considering what we've already got in the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wetlands, pond clearance. So the budget for this year was 0, but we have proposed next year that we do put aside 1,000, and we already have just under 4. So pond clearance, is that like just maintenance of ponds, dredging?
It's-
or-
We get a company in called Aqua something, and they come in every 2 years to clear
Clear the
the
silt.
wetland, clear the silt, which is why you have a pot of money in EMR, because that will cover
Right,
this year's.
Tony.
When you talk
Works.
about ponds and you've got reeds and that, there should be a schedule of maintenance for reeds and stuff like that, where you reduce the amount of reeds in there. Otherwise, reeds will take over a pond.
Grove, yeah.
And also, it's the removal of silt from the bottom, because when you get silt, it builds up, and it depends how much silt goes in there. It can increase by about 75% over the year. So we need to have a look at the maintenance of these ponds, when they were last done properly, and everything else towards them, and the reeds and that. So could we put that on the agenda, please?
Well, I can answer it now. They were done 2 years ago. They need to be done this month, which is why we have the funds there to do them.
Is that removing
And we
reeds
re- we
as
re-
well as...
We outsource it to a company that do it all for us
And how often do they do it?
every 2
Every 2
years.
years.
Because I think if you do it too often, it can be bad for...
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it's supposed to be a yearly maintenance,
Yeah.
as we know from the environmental people, especially with reeds and that. So do that company cover their reeds as well?
I don't know, but I would assume they do because they deal.
Check for us, please, if you
Okay.
mind.
So happy with the... Yeah, under that.
Yeah.
Village notice boards. Here we go. So 2,000. So should we just say yeah?
Yes.
Well, unless council is in the mind that they would like to bring it back, that those notice boards gets replaced sooner rather than doing 2 per year.
I don't know how many are actually bad.
Think.
6.
Yeah.
Are bad.
How many have we got in the village?
20. Oh, I want to say 21, but I don't know. But I have a lovely
But-
schedule and photographs of all of them.
But there is a difference to what's public and what's ours. So public means you can just go up and pin up notice board. Public is what you have to come to us to ask for in order to put something up inside them. Is that right?
Well, we own both of those, yes.
We own both, but yeah, it's the public ones that people are putting pins in that are deteriorating a lot quicker for obvious reasons.
I sort of minded to just do a job lot of them. But that's just my...
Yeah, but I mean, if the
Sure,
job
yeah,
is that all 6, and is it £500 each, or is it £2,000 each? That's the question.
For the public
Answers
notice
in
board, surely they won't be
how
more.
much does it cost to refurbish a notice board, Francis, an approximate figure?
What do you mean by refurbish?
Well, replace,
So-
what you need
if-
to do with them.
If we, it depends. It depends on the size of the notice board, whether you want it locked, whether you want glass in it,
Yeah.
how many
So,
And
that's the word I've said.
so
How many
our
panels you
ones
need.
around, so our ones around the village that we lock, those ones are more expensive. But the public notice boards, which is just a couple of pieces of wood on stilts, they're just simple bits of wood that people, they will probably be a bit cheaper, but those are the ones that are in great need of replacement. The other ones are
It's-
quite.
So that would
With
be
those again, it
we
depends
could
whether or
increase
not
the
you
budget.
want to replace them with just bits of wood on stilts, or whether you want them to have Denmead Parish Council on them and a proper board that they can put pins into.
Depends on council if you want to engrave a bit.
Because you can get these they're called, is it Sunniel or something, resealable backboards.
Can you go away and do a bit of research?
You do a bit of project.
Open, leave them open so that people can still use them publicly, but see what it would be to perhaps engrave it.
I think we could leave, sorry, go on.
Okay.
When we got all these notice boards in place and that, and I know they already come painted with their weatherproofing, how often do we actually go around painting them with weatherproofing or stuff like that?
I can't answer that.
Oh, yeah, it's a good point.
I would ask Sam.
That's a very good
Because
point.
that would make them last longer.
Yeah, if we buy them, have a job lot of them, and then just have an upkeep of notice boards regime.
Yeah.
Good point, Tony.
Problem is where people put pins in all the time, make holes, the water gets, that's where it starts to.
Yeah, but then you
Swell.
can get stuff to fill them.
Yeah.
But that's where having the proper ones with the backing board that seals itself may resolve that
Then
issue.
you've got people that want
Oh,
to use them
dear.
all the time and have to come to.
Yeah, so if we bring it back
No,
to...
because you can have those open.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Should be
All right.
maintenance
Come and
by
have a
then
look
for-
in the office sometime. I'm in here on a Wednesday and
I
Thursday.
think there should be. Yeah, it'd be perfect.
So we're looking to that. Perhaps we can make that an item agenda for notice board. But in the meantime, is council of the mind that perhaps you want to put a little bit extra into that part?
I would, because if there's no maintenance plans in, we need to put a maintenance plan in
Yeah.
for them.
It's all recycle and reuse, isn't it? We should be doing that.
Because
more.
by the time we buy
So,
super and our brushes and stuff like that, and then go back to the other budget, you've got our PPE to wear to do it.
I've got nothing PP.
so we budgeted next year for 2, proposing it at increase
Double it?
something. Double it?
Yeah,
4?
double it.
I think we need to question that.
Of course, if we don't use that, will that go in there?
Okay.
Well, I will be
Of
using
course
that
you
in
will.
the
Of
next
course you will.
next month. Once you tell me which ones are urgent.
So you're happy to double?
Yeah.
Yeah. No more?
Yeah.
All right, we doubled them. Repairs to Creechwood footpath.
We've spoken about this one.
We have. Let's just tick that. Repair potholes. We've covered that already, haven't we? We're going to see how that goes. Roundabout planting.
It's all
Yeah, again, yeah.
Have you mentioned that before?
We have.
Some of
so
them are on both, and I don't know why, but
That's highways again,
That's
isn't it? So
it.
let's get rid of that one.
That's the extra saving.
Replacement storage of container, Guile, Bowman, we've spoken about that
Filbin.
already. Benches around the parish.
Sorry, Chair, on the with storage container, I'm assuming, because I haven't seen the number, that the rent that we charge to the Bowman covers the cost of whatever it is that we're buying it for, plus more. We're not doing it at less than cost price, I hope. If we are, we shouldn't.
they
Sta-
my understanding is they pay the basic standard rent we charge, which I think is about
300 again.
and 50 something a year. So on the basis that it's 2,085 quid and it lasts 10 years, then presumably yes, we are making. They are covering the cost of
We're
it.
not doing it below cost.
Well, we are, aren't we?
No, because it's 5 years.
Okay, so can we look into that and bring it back to FAMP for us to... Is that all right? So, yeah, look into costing and
5
renting,
years of
see whether or not we're covering the cost.
Right, okay.
Thank you.
Question
Pension...
on
Oh,
that.
sorry, Tim.
Insurance for it.
Mm-hmm.
Who pays the insurance on
We do fix our container,
And have they got insurance to cover what they store in there?
as far as I'm aware, yes.
You believe, and we're not sure.
Arches and bows, they must have insurance.
Oh, let's hope so. Let's hope it's secure.
Could we check, please?
Well, I can ask them, but they might tell me to. It's none of our business.
Well,
So
the
we've got
insurance of
buyers
the container is ours if we're buying, correct? What they insured by then.
Yeah,
not
but
us.
if it is damaged or something happens and some vandalism, they might be saying, oh, we clear it then.
Sure.
Unless there's something written in paper saying that you put stuff in there at your own risk.
But it's the same topic that we have for the preschool, the football club, or whatever it may be. Yeah, if the club or the parish own the container, that's one thing, but the content is somebody else's responsibility. If they don't want insurance on it,
Yeah, but I would rather dot the i's and cross the t's.
I would agree with that. People need to know who's
Yeah, so
got
can we
what
just
responsibility.
ping them out?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not our job to
Okay.
insure.
So
the
check
content.
insurance.
No, but we've got to find out.
I agree.
Okay, so nearly there. Benches around the parish.
We've already talked about.
Already talked about that.
Mhm.
So 0 for next year. Petanque Court. Francis, can you shed light? Is this the Petanque Court near the Forest of Beer on the green that was supposed to be going up?
Yes.
There's no budget for it, and we haven't got
Bit of
any
a
spot.
bit of a wild place to put that now. No,
Um,
we should be talking.
We have got funds for this in earmarked projects, which is 6,000. And this is meant to be going on the land next to the Forest of Beer pub as and when it is handed over to us by the Persimmon developers.
That budget was for this year. There's no proposed budget for next year for it.
No,
No, because I think Jenny will just hold over the 6,000.
that'll go into the blue column. On
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
the case, then
what we
that's-
don't use. We keep.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Tony.
There's nothing about, right, you build it, where's the cost of maintaining it? So, you know,
Yeah.
there's, you've got to look at this and build that in when you do stuff.
You get people coming out from the pub and they bed a few and they go over to that.
And throw balls at everybody.
I personally think it's
So
the worst
let's just-
place ever to put it.
Let's keep that for now. Yeah, nearly Heathfield, pile, concrete breaker, removal, rubble,
That's all been done now.
super,
So
and then the bowling club reciting of the path. So that's currently in issue matters at the moment, isn't
I
it?
think that needs a
Yes.
budget.
So yeah, it would. Isn't that funny?
Put
That's
£6,000
not-
for the concourse. Saying.
just yes.
So
We did the
Had
budget
this
for that share.
yeah, so
Yeah, we do need a
Francis
budget.
so Francis, from previous experiences with footpaths, etc., what would you believe the cost for that would be? How much
I'm
is it
trying to remember
normally?
what the quote was. I think the quote was about 4,000 or 5,000. That was based on moving the footpath around the tree roots.
Yeah, a bit of a, okay.
Because the committee didn't want to cut the tree roots.
So is council of the mind that perhaps we go for 5,000?
Yeah.
Not forgetting that we could always.
And I think it needs to be sooner rather than later.
Agreed.
Because I don't think that footpath should be closed any longer.
Right, so we've got to put that as an action point as well.
Good exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, get ready.
Get rid of it.
Okay, so that will return after the amendments and considerations and the questions that will come back to FNP grant.
Yes, it'll go to FA.
Thanks. Okay, item 8 on the agenda is the Ashling Park and Ashling Pavilion. Item 8.1, fixings for the goalposts. Consider the installation of fixings for the new goalposts at the Ashling Park. Consider and determine action. We spoke about this briefly before, didn't we, Francis?
Yes.
There's nothing. We've got no documents to circulate from it. So
I
what
have
was
no
your-
documents, but in minute reference 61/24A, the committee resolved that the ground staff would permit the football club to install new sockets in the ground. However, as we are aware from Jenny, we don't allow other people to carry out works on DPC land. So Sam had a look at the sockets and the fixings, and to install them they require an excavation of an area approximately 0.6 metres wide by 0.6 metres depth by 0.6 metres deep into the ground, which he says, and that then needs to be concrete. That will become a block of concrete in which the fixing is then set. And basically his comment was that the ground staff do not have the expertise to install blocks of concrete in the ground.
Certainly need outsourcing.
So it would need to be carried out by contractors. And when I discussed this with Councillor Carson, her concern was having these blocks of concrete permanently in the ground.
It's a football pitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
The goals are not going to fall down, so we've got to have it properly built. So,
Yeah.
But the
there's
pit,
proper organisations that install goal posts, concrete or no concrete. I'm struggling with this, Chair. I think we just need to put the goals in. If we can't do it, we get someone in to do it. We get quotes accordingly and get on with it. In my opinion.
Tony, then Christine.
In years gone by, when
that's the question.
I did football pitches, which as you know, I'm qualified sports coach. We put them in concrete, then we left about 6 inches, which before, put topsoil over it so that there was no concrete showing. Now, I can't see why our ground staff can't do it. We used to do it on council once, and then when I worked with the military and that, we got it done by our staff then. So I can't see why our ground staff couldn't do it.
Is he not confident or happy to do it?
He says they're not suitably qualified or have the experience to dig out
Okay, so if we...
the depth of the hole, to fill it with concrete, then to put these
Okay.
fixings in, and to make sure the
Which is fair
posts,
enough.
yeah.
to make sure the
From a health
posts
and
are then
safety-
upright.
So-
I get it from a
So,
health and safety perspective.
I suppose the question stands that if we are in the mind to go ahead with this and the ground staff aren't comfortable to do it and we outsource a contractor, we then have to look at who foots the bill for it. And how much would this cost, for example?
Okay, I don't think it's I think it's a no-brainer. I think the football club needs to have it. I think that given it's not much in Denmead for children, and the football club is a big part of the village, and you know we are encouraging our young to get off their screens and go and be active. I think I agree with you, Councillor Ranger. I think it needs to be done. I think it needs to be done soon, but properly. I disagree with Councillor Carson in that it's in the ground. It's a football pitch. It's going to be there. So I don't know if she has other plans for the football pitch, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a football pitch. It's goalpost. It's going to be there. I agree a little bit with Councillor Berry in that, you know, I understand that Sam and his team might not be confident, but I think if you've got a professional company in, there could be some training about how to do it, and then you could next time.
We get revenue from the football club for using the pitches anyway, right?
Yeah.
So if we didn't put the goalpost in there, they wouldn't be able to use the pitch. Therefore, we'd lose the revenue, right? So I really do think it's a no-brainer. We have to do it. It's whether if we haven't got the skills to do it, we outsource it and get prices accordingly. Then the issue becomes who pays for it. If it's our land, which it is, and then we rent that land to the football club, then we pay it, and
So-
whether or not the rent for the football pitch goes up for it, I don't know. But
So I propose that we go away and we source some quotes for this, free, the normal we do, and I believe that those quotes should then go to the liaison working party to perhaps get together with the bowling club and we can...
Football club.
Football club, if we're happy to, and we can discuss those quotes and prices and we can see what we can arrange perhaps to...
Well, that's anything.
Yes,
You
I'll
can
open up.
open the meeting.
Yes, I'll open up the public. For you.
Very, very appreciative of everything. My only very, very slight concern on this is timing. So already we're in September. I don't know how long it takes to get quotes. I don't know how long it is before next meeting. By then we're at the end of the football season anyway. We've lost a whole year of revenue on that pitch. We've not been able to use it.
I was going to ask that. I think we need to to be the
But you still need to go away, get quotes, and it has to come back. There's a process we have to.
What's come back to
So
this
why-
committee?
Sorry, Chair, if it's time sensitive, then I ask why are we talking about it in September, not in June or July?
Because it's only just come to the.
No, but I mean, I'm sure there should be somebody must have thought about that we might have to have a new goalpost in June or July versus September, the start of the season, no?
We've known about the goalposts for a while, but the fixings, didn't receive the fixings until recently. And it was only when Sam looked at the fixings and read the instructions on how they had to be fitted into the ground that he.
Okay, I'm under you've got the fixings, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why we've just
Okay.
we've just received
They
them.
wouldn't be able to put them up before because it was cricket season, so you
Fine.
don't have pitches
Right.
set up, so it only comes up before September.
So that's why we
note the urgency, I think.
Yeah.
um,
Okay.
if you're happy to, if that's my proposal.
Can we send the quotes to each of us by email and make a decision?
Good point.
Yeah,
Yeah, can we
Good
vote?
point.
So
Vote via email.
That'll be a
If they come
Yeah.
in.
happy to do that,
Yes.
Chair.
Happy to do that.
You have to go to the vote.
Yeah.
And we'll vote by email.
So I will amend my proposal to include that we do a proxy vote by email from councillors of this committee.
So that should.
If they are happy, if they are
I'll
happy,
speed up things a lot.
if they are happy with the quotes that we receive.
Yeah, agreed.
And again, once they are received, I will go to the working party and have a meeting with the football club.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is that
Also
unanimous?
seconded from Councillor Ranger. All in favour? I'll be in touch.
Thank you very much.
Don't go anywhere just yet. So item 8.2 is the request to install a container. To consider a request to install a container at Ashton Park for the storage purposes. So you've all had a look at them. Did you get a chance, Chris? Yeah. Go on, Francis.
Francis.
The representative from the football club mentioned possibly putting it near the mugger. I would just remind council that the trees along there are protected and there is a
Yeah.
root protection zone of 15 metres.
Yeah.
So I would suggest we don't do that.
So I am in favour of this. We have already set a precedent, as already mentioned, from the daycare centre, so we do have a container already on the pitch. My concern would be the location. Don't want containers all the way around King George, it looks a bit untidy. And I know that you already suggested a location, which is to lie adjacent to, but it's tucked behind the pavilion, how to create a bit more tidier against the wall.
Trouble is, if you put it by the wall, that means kids could climb on the roof. And plus, as I said before, I want to see a risk assessment for that.
Yeah.
So I think, Chair, I
Francis.
too am in favour of the container, but I think the risk assessment to Councillor Barry's comment.
Yeah.
And I think it might need a site survey with the working party to agree a location.
I was going to say that as well. Yeah. Francis.
We did have an issue with people climbing on the current container, and if you look closely, you'll see there is black anti-climb paint around the top of it. In the picture, you can actually
Who
see.
applies that? Did we apply that? Or
We
was the
did apply.
priest
We did apply that
Okay.
because we've got it all along the top of our fence as well. So that may stop them climbing on it and getting access to the roof.
So I would make it.
So going back to it, so in all being in favour, my only other concern, and I understand that if it does go ahead, that the container gets delivered, you have no say what it looks like. My view is in that if it's possible, perhaps the football club may consider painting it green so that it matches the existing daycare centre container, so everything looks nice. Francis. What's wrong with that?
Sorry. A legal point if the football club are going to own the container rather than us buy it and rent it out to the football club, then there will need to be some sort of legal agreement for them having a structure on our land. So it would have to be referred to full council.
Chair, sorry, on the discussion we just had about replacement storage container for the Bowman, we were buying it and renting it back. So is there a precedent set in terms of containers that either we have bought and rented
If
back,
it's already been done
Or
elsewhere, yes.
we allow the organisations to buy and put it on the land with an agreement? I mean, because the preschool have got one, the Bowman have got one. I'm sure that that's not the only group that have got them.
Tony?
Does the place to rent that container off us, or do they own it?
Daycare, I don't know. It was there before I started, but I can't remember whether or not we charge them rent for it. I have a feeling we do.
I would do.
I have a feeling we own it and we charge them rent.
Could we check, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't pay rent, I think we have to bring that back to full council.
Mhm.
So they do pay rent if it is ours.
So where are we at? Sorry.
Then I've lost the
Francis?
I've lost the thread. really.
I think we're at the point where you have to decide whether or not we buy it and rent it to them.
Chris's view about, and I do think that's a really valid point, because there might be other organisations that come, so we need to have a
So,
more
okay.
uniform policy about
So,
it.
Standard, yeah.
would you like any input?
I'm happy with either proposal because when we looked at it before, there was a cost of renting it. If we were to rent it ourselves from them, if the council were to buy it and we'd rent it from you, if that avoids some of the steps you need to go through, then I think that's a great solution. The football club is going nowhere, you know it's going to be a safe investment.
Sure.
There's plenty of teams and there's so much demand for it and growing.
We just need a budget.
We've shown some bits here and there, haven't we? It's always the time.
And how much was one of these containers, sorry?
2,500-ish.
One of those containers, 2,000?
No, but I'm saying it's not. You've got to find it from somewhere.
It was included 1,944,
Yeah.
including VAT.
See, with the VAT, we can
But
do that.
we could also try and get the grant, we can work with you to get that grant as well, which brings the cost down to £486. So,
But if we vote, we won't get that. Right.
yes, you would because you're not a profit organisation.
Yeah, so VAT, we can claim our VAT back. Anything, yeah.
Yeah.
And we get the grant as well.
Yes.
Mhm.
So actually, it's not a massive cost then, is it?
And I can work with
£400.
you on that, no problem.
I think that's a case of we have to talk to Jenny about where we can find that
Fine.
balance of money.
Okay. So if we,
Are you able to liaise with the football team about the football club about how you get the grant?
Proposal.
I don't know. I'll just wait for you
So I
to
think-
advise.
yeah.
We need to evaluate, we need to evaluate the cost.
Hmm?
No, we always want things quite soon, but we're
Yeah.
being realistic and that's going to take some time.
Ideally, I'd like to go away, get some further information from Jenny, costings for that, and then perhaps bring it back to the liaison party. She's shaking her head. Go on then.
Um,
Are you on, sorry? Chair?
Yeah. No, you have to whisper that.
oh, the resolution should be the municipal park uses with the football club to purchase a container, and if that's not possible, it has to be referred to the football club to purchase it. It's the only way we can do it.
I think that's good. That's
Yep.
great. Yes. Okay.
Chair?
So yes. Yes.
The agenda point was to consider a request to install a container. It doesn't say to buy or to rent, just as a point of reference. So, I'm just calling it out because
So would that still be the same?
Yes.
I propose
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that.
We're all ready to pounce on you.
I'm thinking of it.
Think carefully.
I propose that we need to establish whether there's a precedent in terms of whether we buy or rent containers.
I don't know.
That's the first thing. Once you've established that, then that triggers point 2 of the proposal, which will be if we buy all of ours, then we'll buy this one and work with the football club to paint it, install it in the right location, etc. If we don't buy them, we rent them or whatever else we do, or the organisation buys their own and puts them on the land, that's okay, and then we would need to draw up an agreement specifically for the football club. That's basically what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
should we do that?
that's basically what
you
I've said there.
Well, no,
Which,
Right.
Would
but
you like
yes.
to read the proposal then?
No, Chris just said it. So do we have a seconder for
That's-
Chris's
Alright.
proposal?
I'll second.
Right.
Should
Show of
we-
hands.
So do I have a show of hands all in
Show of
favour?
hands, but just before I come to it, I think the point being about there's more urgency on the goalpost than there is on the container. Is the message I'm picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's fine. So I think we were all unanimous with that
We are.
proposal.
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, I'm happy with that. Thank you.
urgency to the drawn out session.
That's it. I mean, that's all your bit done for the agenda. You can
Great.
stay for the rest of the meeting if you want to. Yeah.
Come on, let's get through.
You should have come last week.
Let's get on with it.
Right. Item 9, licenses from HCC, reference Frenchie's View. It's just to note. I'm happy with that. So item 10 on the agenda, areas of open space. Wetlands, again, just to note, you got a chance for the amphibian survey recently conducted at wetlands.
No great questions.
Ah, no. Okay, so item 10.2 is scaffolding a pile of bricks. To consider what action should be taken regarding the erection of scaffolding and placing of a pile of bricks on the land owned by the parish council. Francis?
These have now been removed.
They have, so we're happy just to shelve that.
Was there
Okay,
any damage?
good points. Yeah, is there any...
Sam says there is no noticeable damage. I mean, the grass will take a little while to grow back, but there's no damage as
Is there
such.
any value in writing to the owner to say they shouldn't have done it in the first place, or is that just something okay there?
Yes.
We can
Well,
do a letter of notice, can't we? That we don't do this again kind of thing if you do write to us. Yeah, you've been seen, but you've got away with it this time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is item 10.3, the skip. To consider what action should be taken regarding the installation of a skip on land owned by the parish council. To consider and determine action. I take it the skip is still present, to our knowledge?
the skip has been removed.
Yep.
There is now a much smaller skip, which is full, and when Sam looked at it today, he reckons it will be removed within the next couple of days.
Is it the same property as the other one?
Do that's Christine.
No, they are two different
But they are in
properties.
close proximity.
Okay.
They are known. Yeah.
So we should do the same to them then.
Tony?
Looking at this, they've got bricks and other stuff.
Not
So that's
really.
going to be rubbish
Okay.
left, and it looks like parts of concrete and that in this soil. So we should get Sam to have a look at it and see what damage is done to the top and surface, because if you put a roller over that, depending on whether it's a triple or rotary, you can't do damage to the blades, or it could come out and damage vehicles. So we need that to be inspected.
So I propose that Sam goes to the site and does an inspection.
And,
In the meantime, we write to the owner, let them know that we are aware of the situation and when is it likely to be removed, and shall we give them a timescale to do that if they haven't already? What's reasonable to ask somebody to do?
Well, it depends what they're building and using the skip for. If it's only just
The new smaller skip has bathroom bits in it,
That's
so they're
indoor.
obviously having a new bathroom.
good assumption.
Give us a time frame, how would-
I think 30 days.
I think you're being quite generous.
They'd be done by 30 days, I should think.
A week?
7 days?
7 days?
I think they should
By the
have,
time they get the letter, 7 days will be
they shouldn't put it
sufficient.
on there in the first place.
Mm.
It's damaged in the first place.
If you
So,
look at the picture of the street, sorry, Chair,
Yeah.
the pavement next to it looks pretty in a poor state anyway.
yeah, I thought that actually.
Now, I'm hoping that hasn't been exacerbated by the
Why
skid.
is it?
I'm just commenting, the next thing we'll have that
Yeah,
part
it's a
shut.
big budget
I
for
don't
that.
think that's our part.
Right, yeah. So, happy for that proposal?
Yeah.
That Sam goes, has a quick look for any damages, and then we write to the homeowner and
Not
discuss
even
it.
long.
So I propose that.
I'll second it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Tony. Show of hands in favour.
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, 10.4, Goodmansfield Bridge to receive a verbal report from Councillor Vickers regarding the bridge at Goodmansfield. Christine?
So there's 3 fields at Goodman's Field, and the one they all link. There's a roundway path that people tread a certain route, and so Field 2 links to Field 3. But if you get into Field 3, there's it isn't like it's a crossing. It's I've lived in the village for years, and there's always been some sort of structure across the little waterway. A couple of years ago, unbeknown to whatever, the council decided to remove it because it does get really flooded. So today I was up there and it was like halfway up my wellies. So and you cross it. So people have put stepping stones there, which is really dangerous because they're slippy, they're slidey. So if you don't have a bridge, you go to 3, you go to Field 3, you can't walk all the way around Goodman's Field. You just have to walk round 3 and come out the same way. Families use it, dogs use it, kids use it. It just needs to be done. It's not going to be massive, but it needs to be properly done.
Sorry, the bridge was removed July last year because part of it collapsed
Yeah, it is.
and it was unsafe,
Yeah.
and so it was removed. The problem is that since that bridge was installed, the Environment Agency have become very aware of people doing things near their rivers. So we cannot just install a bridge.
Right.
We have to get consent from them.
Okay.
In order to get consent from them, we have to design the bridge, we have to send them the plans, we have to then fill in 3 forms, we have to get an expert in water flow to confirm that the installation of the bridge will not affect the direction or flow of the water going through it. I know it sounds ridiculous because it's so small.
No, it's a rule.
And we have to pay a fee. So I have been looking at bridges, but I'm yet to find an expert, which once I've got the bridge design, I have yet to find an expert that can provide me with information as to flow in that river, which is particularly difficult when there's been no rain for
There's trust
3
me, there was
3
flow,
months.
There's flow this morning.
Yes.
Trust me. Yeah, I do take your point, and
Because at the moment, what we have is there's like a concrete pier one side and the other one has collapsed. We cannot put concrete back in the stream because it will alter the flow of the stream. And that's the issue that we have.
Years and years ago, there used to be like planks.
Sleepers.
Yeah,
Sleepers.
yeah, and that's with a handrail. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what.
and it survived for many, many, many years, and then rain got harder, winds got bigger, and it's just naturally gone. But my concern is that those stepping stones are really slippy.
Mm.
They are really slippy, and I've seen multiple people nearly slide on them, including quite a little child. So I do believe, as much as it's going to be a pain, we have to do it properly, but we do have to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, Christmas Fields is so used. It's so used because it has less restrictions on it than King George Fields, and
Yeah.
so I do believe that we need to pay and do it properly. And I do accept that it's a lot of work and a big cost.
Yes.
So I would propose that we move the way that Francis has outlined very comprehensively.
Okay. Before, I know Tony wanted to.
Oh, sorry, Tony.
Yeah, I said about this bridge when I went and had a look at it. And there's two ways you can do it. You can either put concrete in and do it properly and have a bridge, or you can dig it out with the permission of the environmental. You put pea shingle at the bottom, then you put a large pipe which then takes the flow through it. Then you fill back with
Soil.
pea shingle,
then other material, then you cover the top with concrete.
Okay.
And that is the best way of doing it. That way it's there for years. So, I mentioned this, but at the time we said, oh, it costs too much. So I think we ought to start looking at pricing this up to do it properly.
Yeah, I would.
Because we've done it in other places.
Yeah, exactly. I would
And we're
agree.
doing the same thing with pipe and stuff in the other water course area, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the proposal would be that we need to get some quotation from companies to do it properly.
Okay. So we have had a proposal. Do you want to withdraw your proposal?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
withdraw my proposal and have the better proposal.
Before I go to Francis, I'd like to make an amendment to your proposal in just a second. Do you want to say something, or are you happy for?
The only thing I was going to say is what I've noted down there, which is if those stepping stones were not put in by the ground staff, and if they are a health and safety issue, then perhaps the ground staff actually ought to be removing them.
I would agree, 100%. Because
So-
I do think they are dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You
my
just fall headlong into the river, but it's
Yeah.
better than falling and cracking your head. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree.
So my amendment to Chris's proposal would be that we ask the ground staff to remove the stones. Okay, so we've put a proposal. No, we have to agree on the amendment first. So can I have a show of hands who agree with my amendment to Chris's proposal? That's unanimous. And then we need a seconder for Chris's proposal. Christine. So show of hands. All in favour of Chris's proposal with my amendment? Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right, fine. Thank you, Christine. Item 11 on the agenda is trees and hedges. Tree survey. Consider the quote received for a tree survey to consider and determine action. So we've outsourced 3 quotes from different companies to conduct our tree surveys, etc. I have my own view, but would any councillor like to comment beforehand on the quotes we've received for discussion? If not, Francis.
If I would I'd just run through them with you.
Yeah.
You've got 3 here. One is from Mark Welby. The second is from Beach Down, who did our big tree survey. But given the cost, I would suggest that we don't approve that one. And the third one is from Climbers Way, who have never produced a survey for us before and have done tree works for us. I know Mark Welby because we used him at Liss Parish Council, and he prepares what are called negative risk or negative assessments, which tell you which trees need work, as opposed to telling you details about every single tree you own.
Yeah, we only need to know.
I propose, off the basis of that, considering that you have been with Beach Down before and they are extremely expensive, and they weren't all that good, were they? And Climbers Way tree also haven't come back that good. So I think we should go with Mark Welby, whose price is quite reasonable. Over half price compared to the 10,000 of Beach. So my proposal is that we go ahead with Mark Welby.
I'll second it.
Yeah. Show of hands, all in favour for that? That's unanimous here, Chris.
I'm just looking back at the budget and tree survey, sorry.
We got Penny in there.
Yeah, I'm happy with what I've received.
Just to go with your point about the tree survey, these reports, what we were doing was one big survey every 5 years, and the last one cost us £18,000. But of course, trees change very quickly, and we should really be doing the surveys every 2 or 3 years, which is why you moved down to an exception report. So the 3.9, we would probably be paying every 2 or 3 years to have the surveys done. rather than 18,000 every 5 years.
Okay.
So in the long term, it'll save money.
Francis, so 11.2, free trees to receive a verbal update from Mrs. Clark.
Just to advise you that we applied under the Woodland Trust scheme for free trees. The application had to be made by the end of July, but I was only made aware of it after our last meeting, which is why I didn't get approval. But we have got 270 trees coming in November,
Wow.
which we will be able to put around the village,
Excellent.
Good news.
and they are free.
Save the thought, chair, for the social media.
Who does that come from?
The Woodland, I think this was through the Woodland Trust or CPRE. It was one of the two.
And where
Yeah,
do
we
we,
did that
how,
once, didn't we?
how do we decide where they go?
Well, I was going to recommend perhaps we bring that back to a future agenda to discuss locations around the village.
Oh, could we not put it out to the general public and have their suggestions about where they might?
But it has to be on council land, is that right, Francis? It
Yes,
can't
they
be
have to go on
private.
council land.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that precludes discussion
No,
with the community. I'm not that, you know, they can't say, I want it at, you know.
But if we do, we'd have to put a
90.
statement out that you can only put it on, and then
Council land.
then they will come back and say, well, what is council land, what is not?
yes,
Yeah, but I think it's nice to have the public engagement. I think it's important that
That's a positive thing.
that happens. Yeah, whether we can put it there and say it's council land and it has to be provided, but I think it's a nice form of public engagement, and I think that should happen.
Okay, I'll open the public session for Kevin to speak briefly.
Just on behalf of the Scouts and probably other community groups, to your point, Councillor Vickers, as a request as part of the process, not necessarily from a location point of view, but as part of the planting process, it would be really good to involve Demi Greening, the youth organisations,
really
come on,
nice.
do
Yes.
part of planting,
Go well, Demi.
schools, all
Yes.
of that, with that, again, as long as it can all be covered legally and risk assessment, we, on behalf of the Scouts, we would like to be part of that.
I think it's a really lovely idea.
Yeah, so Daniel's part of Go Wilding now, part of Greening, so perhaps we could get together and speak with the Scouts on the trees and we can... Yeah?
Yes, I know there are places where Sam would like some of them to go already, because we have gaps in hedges that need to be infilled.
Field first,
But
and then
Yes.
what else, whatever's
trees.
left can go out with the community.
Yeah.
Can I just note that,
Okay.
yeah, there does need to be some level of, you know, public engagement, and Sam can't hog the trees. I'd like that noticed.
No, they'll come in
I
November.
just think
So we've got
it's
time
for
to
the
have a look
community,
first,
it's not just
Yes.
us.
Okay.
Yes.
So I propose,
The right part on the
well,
football
it's just
pitch.
a note. So it's just a note at this time. So we'll make it a future item agenda. Speaking to Sam, then we
If you have
can.
one about 8 yards apart,
Yeah.
2
Yeah,
columns.
there you go.
That solves all of your problems.
There you go, who needs concrete instead of trail?
So item 11.3, fallen trees, to note that a tree fell in Harvestfield, damaging 2 other trees, and that the council's preferred tree surgeon had to be contacted to fell the damaged trees to grind out the stumps. So I don't know if you're all aware, but a big tree fell down, and during its felling or falling, it damaged 2 other trees. They had to go as well.
No, actually, we've only removed 2 trees. The other
Just
one,
the 2.
the other one was re-examined and
Oh, they saved it?
re-inspected, and they think
Perfect.
it
Okay.
should be okay.
Fine to note that. Item 12 on the agenda is play areas. The KGV Skate Park funding application to receive a verbal report on a funding application made by Councillor Langford Smith to consider and determine action. I propose that we ask the amenities clerks to speak to Councillor Langford Smith and ask her if she's willing to submit that report and where we stand with that, and we can bring that back to the next committee.
So we don't have a copy
Francis?
of that report at the moment, then, Chair.
No,
We have no
No.
paperwork at all on this.
Okay.
Okay.
it would have come, but I think.
Yeah, yeah.
So, are you happy to go and ask her if she's willing? Yeah.
Thank you, Francis.
12
Sorry, can we
point-
have a show of hands?
Oh,
on
sorry.
that?
Yeah. So that's my proposal. Do we have a seconder?
No second.
Right, thank you.
And it's unanimous. 12.2. Resistor graph testing, to consider the report received following resistor graph testing carried out by the KGB play area to consider and determine action. So this is regarding the play equipment we have.
Francis was.
Francis.
I would suggest that we contact Russell Play to see if they will place them under the guarantee.
I was going to say, is it still under guarantee? We believe it just is, don't we?
I have a feeling it isn't under guarantee anymore, but I think we need to go and ask them if they will replace them under guarantee.
Okay, so that I think that will do. So yeah, I propose that we go back and see if it's under guarantee. If it's not, then we'll bring it back to another future meeting to decide what we do. But they will have to be looked at.
Yes.
They are rotting. You can see what the outcome is on the back of your report. So do I have a second that we go and...
I second it.
Yeah. Show of hands, all unanimous, that we go and see if it's guaranteed.
Can I just comment on this report?
Yeah.
With swings and stuff like that, you get what we call indentations in the ground. For where the kids feet go and stuff like that.
Mm.
Why doesn't this come up in the reports? And why doesn't the council do something like this? Because if someone has an accident, they're going to blame us first. And, you know, there's nothing in any reports or anything done to fill in these indentations.
This report is solely testing rotten wood, and so it doesn't deal with the indentations of feet. The playground report does, on occasion, raise an issue with the movement of matting, because most of our equipment has matting underneath it, and where it is raised in the inspection reports, the ground staff will lift the matting and deal with it that way. And we're expecting the next lot of playground reports in 2 weeks' time-ish.
That's right,
Yeah,
yes.
because I see from that photograph there's no matting there. And I've been around someone where they haven't got matting, and you can see the indentations in there, and nothing's done.
Suggest we wait for the report and see what comes out on the report.
Yes.
Couple of weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Item 13 on the agenda, incidents to receive any other reports of incidents at the amenities managed facilities.
Not aware of any.
Not aware of anything? That's fine. Item 14, social media, to consider what content could be added to the council social media output.
New trees that we just acquired for the Woodland Trust might be a positive.
We could update about the Goodman's Field in that, you know, we acknowledge that it needs to be done, but there's a process that needs to be carried forth, and it's in hand to do it, because there's a lot of narrative about that in the area.
We could put on there about the play equipment being inspected.
Sorry.
So if we make the public aware that we know that there's an issue with the ribbon, someone falls over, are we responsible?
It doesn't have to say there's an issue. We just say that we are, you know,
Are we covered?
we're
Is what I'm saying.
working on a new bridge. You know, and because we have to work with the Waterways and the Environment Agency, that there's a process that we don't have to say there's an issue that we're taking the slippy stepping stones away. They will just go. We can just say we're working on a new project.
Just want to...
Yes, I understand.
We could put in about the work we do with the football club, the scouts, and also that we've had inspection of the play equipment as well.
Yeah,
So people know that we are taking it serious.
I
think, to be fair, I think the inspection on the playground, yes. I think the work we've been talking about, either the scouts or the football, might be a little bit early, because we haven't agreed what we're going to do.
No, we just say we're working with them.
But we do that anyway, but I get the point, but I'm not sure that it's, dare I say,
We can say we undertake. We can say we
We
undertake.
don't tell them what we're doing, we just say we're working with
it
them.
doesn't actually say anything.
It won't be
That's the
on the
problem.
list of priorities.
I know what you mean, that we should be recognising all the community
Yes.
groups, scouts, football and everyone else, but I'm not sure what we physically can do on the site at this time, and that's all.
Yeah, we've got 5 minutes and
Yeah,
I'll have to
that's
extend
not
it. We
just
won't get to
about
that far. Okay, so those have been noted for Francis to do in due course. I'll open the public session just briefly for Kevin to speak.
My just my suggestion as a member of the public and as a father, 2 children and everything else,
Yeah.
just put on there, right, your social media, put on there projects that you guys have agreed to do, you've got budget aligned, right, so it's got gravitas, which I think is what Councillor Raymond was just talking to Councillor Berry about, right, put those, just saying these are the open projects that we have approved and are working on. Don't have to go into too many details, don't keep it simple, keep it to the point. But then that means the community know what projects you're working on, whether it's Creechwoods, whether it's Goodman's Fields. Just say these are the projects we have agreed to work on, but to cover yourself, which I'm sure Francis would do anyway, is that you don't go into too many specifics, but it just means the community know what you're working on.
I think that's,
Thank you, Kevin.
yeah,
Yep,
very
brilliant.
good, thank you.
Right, I'll close the public session for that. Okay, and item 15 is matters for the next agenda of the Amenities Committee to be held on the 22nd of October. Anything specific for that one? Apart from the points we've already raised, which will be...
And you know,
Just let me know.
Do you have one specific?
No, I was going to say to add on the path that we saw at Harvest Field.
Oh,
The tarmac path.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
that's-
aware of that already.
Oh,
I'm
you're
aware of
already?
that, and
Yes.
We're aware of
Yeah, I
that.
saw it the other day and I was like, oh.
Yes, it came in too late for this meeting, unfortunately, so it's on the
Yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
The elephant in the... I'm still unclear whether it needs to be on the next community full council.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Is the preschool
I wasn't
council.
going to say anything. I feel like
That's
I've
in
banged
hand.
on about
No,
that.
but is it on the next agenda? Does it need to be? Or
Where's
is
it
gonna
going?
be- Where's it going
Where's
next?
it going?
So that needs to be moved and
It-
resolved.
It does.
We can't keep pushing
So
it.
I need to go
No,
back
we
to
can't.
the
If you've
passport
got,
design
if you've
and
got
measurements
Goodman's Field is
and
bad
cost.
enough.
Where does it then go from
It's
there?
not on, is it?
We did discuss full council the next time round, which is on the 15th of October, and if that's the case with this committee, that's fine, providing it gets resolved.
Absolutely.
Action agenda for the full council. If that's not the right place, we failed as a committee to put it in the right place, i.e. does it need to come back to amenities? If someone makes that call, that's fine, but
What's
I'm
your
happy to
view,
leave it,
Francis?
but it's your call, Francis and Monty.
Yeah.
The original
Resolution.
The original resolution was for the lease working party to look into this, and the lease working party only reports back to full council.
Good, fine.
However,
I was
at the
told to-
subsequent meeting,
Yeah.
it was Councillor Clay and Councillor Vickers who are not the lease working party,
No.
so they could report back to this meeting. The issue we have is that even if this meeting decides to approve the installation or erection of a fence, it would have to go to full council anyway to prepare the legal agreement.
Right, okay.
And on that basis,
We go straight to full council.
I see,
No
As-
reason.
as it is urgent, and we would just need to check procedure, but I think there is an argument to say it could go to full council.
Perfect.
So can my report that I submitted to you, or Councillor Clay submitted to you, can that now go forward to full council then, please?
Yes, to support the argument.
To support the argument, because yes, so you've got it, so please could it go to Joe
I'll send it to
before
Joe.
full
Yeah.
council, because it, like Councillor Ranger, it cannot now wait.
Is that all still dependent on how quickly they come back with costs? Because although we may agree it, we can't agree it without cost. Do you know?
Well, we don't know.
Does it need cost measurements? Besides
Not if
the
they're paying,
community?
not if they're paying to install it. Because, oh, do we?
Yes.
Then you'll need costs, yes.
Right, okay.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Full council.
We're going to close. Yeah. Well done. Thanks, Dan. All right. Yeah, we'll be in contact. football club liaison party. We'll get together and we'll see. Is it yourself that I contact?
Come back to me, I'll be.
I'm going to just quickly. I've got it. I'm sure I've got it, but it'll be quicker if you just scribble.